Well, thank you all so much for joining us on this presentation. We're here to take a look at the Aurum company, the Aurum Foundation. Very interesting project for many of you. I hope you enjoy what you hear, and I hope you do get back to the person that sent you the link to this information to follow up after the presentation to get your very valid questions answered. And of course, if you do enjoy what you see, if you do get a good feeling for this, we'd welcome you with open arms to join our opportunity. So with that said, let's get into the presentation. You probably already know, but I do not work for this company. I'm not paid by the company to present. I'm totally independent. I'm just like an educator. I'm an independent. And if you're going to be a hairdresser, if you're going to be a clothes shop or a coffee shop, it's always best to get someone with experience in that field to give you advice, to help, to guide you. And same here, if you're getting involved in cryptocurrency or trading or AI, these are areas of life that most of us have no idea about. And with that said, if you do your own due diligence, if you do seek your own professional advice, then you can make what I call an informed decision. So that's the best advice I could give. Now, that said, when I heard about this just 4 months ago, I was hearing about this guy called Brian Benson, and very interesting guy, well-educated, came out of university, started working for the banks. He in there became a trader and got very, very good at that. And then he was hired by Binance. And he moved over from this fiat paper currency world into Binance, which is the cryptocurrency world. And that's a big change coming from the bank to this new age of digital money. But over there, he was also majorly successful. He, in fact, became the director for Latin America. That's the whole continent of South America, I believe. It's in Mexico and Brazil. These are big, big marketplaces. Chile, Peru, Colombia. Phenomenal. And his role was not only compliance and help Binance open in those markets, but he had to open the banking systems as well, because there's liquidity required for transactions and for banking and for trading. He had to do all of that, set up the offices. He was instrumental, let's call it, in the development of Binance in those very special years where Binance came from nothing to what people call a unicorn. It was one of those companies that go, wow, Binance, it's like a Microsoft, an Apple, a Binance, a Tesla. These are big, big names. And Binance is certainly one of the biggest out there. And with the greatest respect to Binance, Brian wants to create a platform, not the same, but not dissimilar either. He wants that success, but he wants a platform that's very easy for the end user to use for onboarding new clients. So clients that don't have any expertise or knowledge of this industry, I think jumping into a Binance account is quite complex. A lot of graphs, a lot of buttons, a lot of things. It's not easy, and he wants to create an interface that makes it very easy for the new users. So, with that said, his goal is to create a unicorn company here. He wants to create a billion-dollar brand because he was involved with Binance, which was a multi-billion-dollar brand over there. And the good news for us guys is this man has the experience. There's no doubt about that. He's the technical experience. He has the corporate experience. It's just great. So what I did was I decided to do a Google on him, because I've never heard of the guy, and I'm sure maybe many of you have never heard of Mr. Brian Benson. So I simply went to Google. I typed in Brian Benson Binance, and once I did that, I pressed images because I wanted to see, does he look like our Brian Benson's the same guy? And yes, we've got the real guy here. This is the Brian Benson from Binance. He has the Binance shirt on here. You can see younger photographs of him as well. There are interviews here. This image comes from Forbes magazine, Forbes Council, Forbes Rich List. You're probably familiar with a media company called Forbes. I would call them quite reputable. They feature a lot of CEOs on the front cover. They do a lot of rich lists, the richest people in Asia, the richest people in America, the richest people in the world. They do the top 10 rich lists. They do all of that type of data collection and exposure. And here we have Forbes writing about Aurum, the company we're examining, and they are saying Aurum provides institutional grade trading. So now I'm hearing Forbes, I'm hearing about Binance, and next thing I see Visa. has got a link here as well. So Visa, as we all know, the issuer of the Visa cards has most certainly done its due diligence, you would imagine, on Binance, or sorry, on Brian Benson, on this company, before they would get into bed with an opportunity like this, because they are providing for us a solution without KYC, without know your client. It is a business card. It's fabulous. I will talk more about that later, but seeing the Visa brand and seeing Aurum together gave me a lot of confidence to look into this further. I then found out that he had written on the Forbes Council. He'd written articles about money. The money system we're presently in is broken. You probably agree with me. And here we have a situation where he's talking about blockchain and the benefits of fixing money with technology. A good article to read. So I decided then to go meet the gentleman, and John was with me. John, who co-hosts our Wednesday call, and a few others. We went to meet Brian and his wife. We spent 3 days with him, and I've got to say, well, obviously we came away very impressed. We asked him tons and tons of questions about why did he leave Binance and what was he going to do here, what's the outlook for the future, and a lot of stuff like that. And we came away satisfied, and of course now we started to build the business with Aurum. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you all to hear Brian Benson if you haven't heard him already. He was on a call on Saturday night. You probably heard him there. If you didn't, I want you to listen to these sound bites. There's been many interviews with Brian Benson, but this one, guys, listen to the words, listen to what he says. Very important. He wants to create a billion-dollar business. He wants to create 1,000 millionaires. He wants to create a unicorn company like he was involved with Binance, and he wants to do that again. So with that said, let's have a listen to this, please.
I think if I have to sum it up in one word, it's ecosystem. At Aurum, we're building an ecosystem, and we're really trying to focus on getting this thing to a unicorn status. And what I like to say is we want to create 1,000 millionaires. And so if we can do that, then that will be a billion-dollar business. That will be a unicorn, and we'll be very excited if we can accomplish that. And we're well on our way to that. So.
So there we go, a unicorn company, a billion-dollar business, and he wants to create 1,000 millionaires. If you feel it's something that you can do, if you want to be part of that, by all means, by all accounts, you have the ability to be one of these 1,000 millionaires or more, because we have a platform that's able to do it. We have a platform here that's able to offer you the potential to reach these kind of status, and it's proven, you know. So let's move on and take a look maybe now at some of the other people involved. I also met Gulnara. In fact, I was on her training today. She does a training on Mondays. I forget what time it was this afternoon, but I listened to her for over an hour. She's the development director. Ahmed Zen, I've never met him. I've met him on Zoom on multiple occasions. Very nice gentleman. A lot of experience as well, and these are the people that are behind it. They come from backgrounds such as Wise, OKX, BitGet, Morgan Stanley. We've mentioned that, and of course Binance. So a good bunch of people. This statement on the screen I used in my presentation because it has a meaningful effect to me since my parents have passed. My parents were hardworking individuals. They had a home family business, and they had shops in town. They had a hardware store. They had a taxi business. When my father was 50, he moved to California. He opened a business over there, which is still operating today. Very successful transportation company. And Dad always knew how to make money. I'm one of 9 children. He was able to provide for all of us, but his whole life was working. And he, whilst he knew how to make lots of money, he did not know how to make his money make him the money. Because, when you're out there working, he was fighting the roads, fighting the traffic, trying to be at the airport, pick up some time for his customers, not wanting to be late, fighting the highways of Southern California, 6 lanes of traffic going here, going there, always on the clock, always under pressure, always under stress, but making lots of money. And a really good father to our family, but he never found a way to make money. He had to be behind the wheel. He had to be driving. And it was only when he passed that I said, my goodness, imagine we could find something, a way that would make us money while we sleep. And I believe we found it here. And any of you who are already a customer, when I slept last night, I woke up to more money. When I had my meal tonight, I came back to my computer and I had made more money. When you're in hospital, you make more money. When you're traveling, you make more money. When you're at work, let's say you have a traditional job or career or business, you can still make money here. So I believe we have found a way to make money while we sleep, and we won't have to work as hard. So I really like the platform. To be involved in the platform, there's a just less than $20 annual fee, and that allows you access to all of their products except for the Visa card. So they have a range of products, maybe 6, 7, 8, 9 products. I haven't used all of the products. I've tried 4 or 5 of them, and those are the only ones I'll talk about. I'm not going to talk about a product that I haven't tried. Same way, I wouldn't recommend a restaurant if I hadn't eaten in the restaurant, but I've tried the products I'm going to share with you tonight. I'm very satisfied with them. They work very well. I've used them now for 4.5 months. I've tried the withdrawals. I've tested them, and I'm very, very satisfied. And only for that, I'd be happy to share it with you. The products that I haven't tried, I've heard they're great as well, but I just haven't tried them. I just haven't got around to trying them. I don't actually think I need them, because what products I'm using are fabulous, and I'll show you some of those now. So the $20 gives you access to all the products except the Visa card. You have to order that yourself. You have to buy that one. But the products you can come in and out of. You can turn on, turn off. You can swap about products. It's pretty good. This is my favorite, the EXAI, and it has data now going back over 2 years. Up until June this year, it did over 400%, which is fabulous. If you're in the real estate business, you won't get 400% in 2 years. You get 100% in 10 years. If you're in the gold bullion business, gold, real money, right? It takes you 10 years for gold to double its value. 10 years. So here we're getting like 400% in 2 years, which is exceptional, So taking a look at this product and breaking it down into the monthlies, we can see it's doing like 13%, 18%, 11, 15, 9. 9 was the least it did, which is still very good. And at the upper end, the best it ever did was 23%. But on average, it's hitting about 17.5% across its term of trading. I only have the details here up until March this year, of course, from April, May, June, and July. And I think last month was 17.46, something like that. The company published the results very, very regularly. Now, of course, off that 17.5%, guys, we don't get that. What we get is determined by what we deposit in our own account. Now, I call this a 12-month success platform, because it's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's not something you're going to make money in 1 day or 1 week or a month or two. Any kind of investment does take a little bit of time to mature. Just like if you buy a piece of property, it takes 10 years for the property to grow in value before you make money. Same with gold, same with any, I suppose, conventional investment. So that said, I call this a very short-term plan. Like 12 months is nothing to get exceptional results. So for instance, if they're making 17.5% and you're making 10%, can you see how the company would get the difference? They get the spread. They get that 7%, and that's for customers that deposit $100 up to $249. So a lot of customers come in at that level just to dip their toe in the water, just to test it out. Of course, if you can do more than that, like let's say $500, $700, $900, you're going to fall into the 11% category. For those of you that can do between 1 and 2,500, you're going to fall into 12%. So as you can see, the bigger your deposit, the more you're going to get. The bigger deposit, the more rewards you're going to receive. Fortunately, I was able to test the $10,000 product. I'm going to share that with you now in just a moment. Now, for those of you that start with the lower category, that's perfectly fine. My children are coming in at that level. And it's when I say children, they're adults now. I have 6 kids. I call them kids. My goodness, the youngest is 21. The oldest is 30. But they're starting at that lower level. But once they get their salary, once they get their wages at the end of the month, they'll be able to top it up. And if you top it up, let's say let's say you tried $220 as an example, and at the end of the month, you've got some wages, some extra money coming into the house, and you wanted to add an extra $50 to it, and you go over the 249, you would fall into the higher category. You get the better benefit. So there are two ways you can get to a higher return. One is either compound your profits, compound it north, or the second way is to top up your account, and that's how you can get to a better category. Two other things just before we finish on this slide. Number one, they don't have any packages. So there's no like $300 package or $500 package. They don't understand what that means. How could you have a package? This is for all intents and purposes, this is a new neobank. This is a new digital bank. You can deposit $109.12. You can deposit $1,426.03. You can deposit $987.22. So it's whatever you put in. There's no fixed amount. There's no package. But whatever that is, it finds its category and rewards you at that level. The second thing is there's no cap. And this was, I found strange, because I've seen platforms before that maybe you get 2x or 3x or 4x and the party's over. You've done well, but they didn't understand that either. Brian Benson said, what do you mean cap? What do you mean cap? Stop your money coming? And I went, well, let's say I put in 1,000, I got up to 3,000, I'm out. Like, do I have to put more in? He says, that's not how a bank works. You put in 1,000, you take 1,000 out. If you want to put more in, if you want to keep it trading, you just keep it there. We don't cap it. It just keeps rolling, or you stop it yourself. Wow, that's interesting. So no package and no cap. And I went, this is interesting. So anyway, I tried the VIP product. You can see it here highlighted in blue. Whichever one you nominate, it'll highlight in blue. It'll go from this whitey gray to a blue color. And I started on the 10th of April. You can see here at the bottom, 10th of April, and I started with $10,000, as I said. However, what we see on the screen here is 12,360. And why that is, if you follow the screen here on the bottom right-hand side, this screenshot was taken from the 16th of May this year. So when I started on the 10th of April up to the 16th of May, it was 4 weeks and 6 days. So I just rounded that up for you to 5 weeks. So the account had made 23% in 5 short weeks. Now, this is without any customers. This is without doing Zooms like this. This not even talking to people. This is my money working for me instead of me having to go to work for my money. Okay, so everybody's got it wrong. They go to work and they trade 40 hours of your hard work to get a paycheck. Here, no, the money makes you the money. You don't have to go to work, because $2,300 for 5 weeks is quite nice. It's over, very close to $600 a week doing nothing. So I was very, very pleased with this result. But I was more pleased when I tested it after 10 weeks. The 10 weeks, if you look at the screenshot here, brings us to the 26th of June. So from the 10th of April to the 26th of June is 10 weeks. And look at the account now. It had grown from 10,000 to 15,514. It had done 55% in 10 weeks. Isn't that incredible? You can't do that with property. You can't do that with most businesses. I've got traditional business. I've got conventional type business. I've got a horse business. I have a jukebox and pool table business. I have a real estate business. I can't get these kind of numbers. But here, I see my money working for me, and it's very, very lucrative. Now, last month on the 10th of July, I took another screenshot. And you can see here from the 10th of April to the 10th of July. We can work that out easy. April to May is 1 month. May to June is 2. June to July is 3. 3 months is 12 weeks. You can now see the account has grown to $17,000. That's 74%. 74%. And many of the people on this call remember when I was showing this, because they're following the journey. And then last week, I was able to get to the 10th of August. And have a look, guys. Just last week, 8 days ago, the account has doubled. It's gone from $10,000 all the way up to $20,000, $20,392. So that's over 103% growth. So it's fabulous. Now, I'm not saying your account will do the same. Well, if it's $10,000, it probably will do very close to that. But if your account's only $100 or $500 or $1,000, you're going to fall into the lower category. But it's still very, very good. So what I did in 16 weeks, it might take your account 20 weeks. Or if you did more than me, well, then it might be even faster than this. So very, very pleased with the results. This is my favorite product. My wife has this account. My son has this account. We're all starting with this account. But I will tell you about the others as well. But I recommend this for starting and then explore the other opportunities. So we call this the EXI bot on the left-hand side. That's all we're talking about tonight so far. There are other products, but these products are involved on what's known as Telegram. Now, Telegram is a communication channel. It's not my favorite. I don't use it much at all. Let's call me a WhatsApp person. But this Telegram over here is a decentralized communication channel, and they have bots over there as well. So I said, okay, let's try this. So I went over and opened up. I'll show you how to do it. It's very easy. As long as you've got an account, you can just go to Telegram and search for Aurum Neobank. And when you find that, you open the app. It's like a mini app on Telegram, and you can use these products. So the product I tried was the EXI Pro. It's quite like the EXI bot, but this is the Pro version. And the difference is this one's not as old as that one. This one has only been operating since March this year. The other one's been operating for a couple of years now. So it's got more data. It's more reliable. It's got better performance so far. But Brian Benson told me he believes in the future this will catch up with it. It just doesn't have enough trading data to make it just as good as the other one. But this is on Telegram. And the other one they have is the Zeus bot. And this allows you to, well, for those of you that might have a little bit of Bitcoin sitting somewhere, or you might have a little bit of Ethereum or Doge or BNB. If you have any of those tokens maybe sitting on a platform, sitting on exchange, doing nothing for you, just going up and down with the market, not making you any money, it's just changing value. If you had money sitting like that, you could try it here in Telegram. And the nice thing about this Telegram is you can withdraw it anytime you want. Like you can put it in today and take it out today. You can put it in today and leave it for one day and then take it out. You can put it in for a month and take it out. So there's no lock-in period. The withdrawal fees are very good as well. I believe they're 1% plus $1. And I've seen some of the platforms charging 7%, 4%, 9%, 10%, some of them as well. And here it's 1%. So very, very affordable mechanism in this product. Now, even if you don't have any Bitcoin and you don't have any Ethereum, this is still a great product to tell people about, because imagine you didn't have any of those, but you told me, and I had a little bit of Bitcoin. If I put Bitcoin into one of these products and I'm your customer, you can qualify to get paid some Bitcoin as a reward, even though you didn't put any Bitcoin in yourself. So it's quite interesting because I have my own customers putting in Bitcoin and Pepe and Doge. And I've never heard of Pepe before this opportunity. You know, I've heard of Doge, I've heard of Ethereum, BNB, and Bitcoin, but I never heard of Pepe. And now I have 1,000 million Pepe. Now that sounds like a big number if you don't know what Pepe is. I think it's over $10,000 worth. But I got this for free because some of my customers love Pepe. They put it in here to trade. It trades itself. They're making money, and I'm getting a reward. So I'll show you in the rewards program how you qualify to get paid these coins, even if you don't have any yourself. But of course, if you do, the idea would be to allow these bots to trade it, and your Bitcoin, as well as going up and down in value, you're accumulating more Bitcoin, more Bitcoin, more Bitcoin, more Bitcoin. So, and I'll show you my own Bitcoin account now in a second. So let's have a look at that just for a moment. So you go to Telegram, you search for Aurum Neobank, you click Open App. The app opens. There's a drop-down menu here. The first thing you have to do is create a Polygon wallet. You don't have anything to do with it, just create one. And then you can click EXI Pro and connect your account to that. You can also order the Visa card, fabulous piece of kit, this Visa card. You can order it on Telegram. In fact, that's the only place you can order it. It's not available over on the other platform. And you can select one of those bots of Zeus that I've just spoken about. So I'd like to show you this account here on the right-hand side. This was started on the 31st of May. What's that now? 31st of May is 8, 9, 10, just over 10 weeks. So let's have a look at this account in just over 10 weeks. It started actually with 0.7 BTC. So the Bitcoin was sitting on an exchange. It wasn't being traded. It was just sitting, doing nothing, just sitting there, 0.7, 0.7, 0.7, 0.7, 0.7, 0.7, going nowhere. It was going up and down in price. You know, it was $117,000. Then it was, one Bitcoin, and then it was down to 112,000. Then it was up to 114. It was changing price, but it was still 0.7. So I put it over here into Brian Benson's product, and it went from 0.7 to 0.71. and then it went 0.72, 0.74, 6, 9, 8, 0.81, and this is where we're looking at now. Then it went up to 0.82. Then it went up to 0.84. Then it went up to 0.85. Then it went up to 0.86, 87, 88. Now, I didn't look today at all. I've been just far too busy to even look today. I think it's probably 0.89, if not 0.9. But can you imagine how much Bitcoin that has made me? And I haven't done anything. My 0.7 is now 0.88. Even after this presentation, if you Google what is 0.18 worth, because it's 0.88, but I started with 0.7, so it's made 0.18 Bitcoin. Now that's over $20,000. So on one product, I made over $10,000 in 4 months. In this one, in how many weeks did I say? 31st of May, I put in the 0.7. And I'm going, you can follow me on this journey this week and next week and next week. And it's going to go 0.992, 94, 99, 1 Bitcoin. I'm going to show all of you how I turned 0.7 of a BTC into 1 BTC with this product. So fabulous. And if I want to take it out, I can do it tonight. I hit withdraw profit, stop the bot, take it out to any BTC wallet of your choice. With some of the bots too, I put the money onto the card. You can, if you're using USDT, the Pro bot, or if you're using the EXI, you can put that onto the card, and then you can go spend your cryptocurrency in any shop that accepts Visa and Mastercard. That's a great product as well. So there's a suite of products here. That $20 allows you to use all of them except the card. The card you have to order, but that's fine. We'll talk about that in a moment. In terms of the trading itself, people say, well, can you see this trading? Yeah, I was very lucky. I had a call with 2 of the traders from the Aurum team. Some of you will probably meet them over in Phuket. We're doing a promotion to there. But Brian Benson organized a call for me and a bank managing friend of mine to meet the traders. They opened up the accounts. They showed us their deposits, how often the money comes in. They showed us their trading balances. They showed us their wins, and they showed us everything. And we came away very, very satisfied with that. But for all of us, we can get access to this data on Telegram. So if you clicked any of these links here, it opens up here, as you can see, and you can see the opening price, the closing price of the trade, the spread, the profit and loss, when this trade happened, and how long the bot was trading for. So from 3:59 to 4:04, it was only on for 5 minutes. It also tells you where it was conducted. Where did this trade happen? On Binance. And if you click that link, it will pull you straight to the Binance exchange, to the BTC USDT platform. And, you know, if you wanted to Google that after the presentation, don't do it when I'm talking, but you could take this down. What price was Bitcoin on the 13th of April, 2025? And just see, was it anywhere near this price? You'll find exactly that's the price Bitcoin was back then, 85,000. So not only have I turned 0.7 to 0.88, the Bitcoin has gone up in value at the same time. And that's what I like about it. Here's another screenshot going back to June, 107, 109, 117, etc., etc. Now, here's a couple of other screenshots. These belong not to me. These are to customers of mine. This customer is an indirect customer. It's a friend of mine introduced this customer. And after a call with the company, he was happy to try a Bitcoin. Here's another customer on the right-hand side, put in 2.75 Bitcoin. That's about $300,000. So many of us are struggling. Well, shall I try it for 100 or 200 or 50? Guys, the 70% of the revenue in this program is coming from high net worth individuals, from family offices, from venture capitalists, from institutional type investors. 30% of the revenue is coming from people like us, just or what I call ordinary average people. That's all I am. I'm ordinary, I'm average, I'm a family man, I'm a businessman. But I don't have any experience in trading, and I don't need any experience, and neither do you.